Let us assume that students that passed on during the start of the Soweto uprisings get involved to a parliamentary session to be briefed about the progress of the South African government. Myself, Peggy Mashamba, I am invited as your host, including everybody who is listening, who has tuned in to this channel. Let us go. We are going to attend an imaginary type of a meeting. The chairperson is a member of the ANC. First feedback given to the students is, in 1994, South Africa had the opportunity to elect their first black president, who was Mr. Nelson Mandela. He was elected by the majority of the citizens. Secondly, of all the white political parties that you knew of then, majority are no longer there, including the Nationalist Party. Instead, we have the Democratic Alliance that was formed in the year 2000 as a white political party. The students look at each other jubilant, patting each other on their backs to say, high five, high five. Well done, guys. It means our struggle was not in vain. We appreciate that. In addition, we have observed to say, all politicians of different racial groups, you are all comfortable sharing the corridors of Parliament, air-conditioned rooms for your meetings, and your family members are all comfortable. All of their basic needs are met in abundance. Second feedback. We are in the year 2024. The format of government has changed to that of government of national unity. But we must confess to you students, as politicians, we hardly understand what it means. And we want to believe to say the majority of citizens are equally confused because they are used to the words democracy, majority rule. Students, some of them start frowning, looking worried. And one explains, remember, you're talking to us who never even had the opportunity to obtain our matric because we were still at a high school level. You need to do better than that. That is why we observed something that puzzled us. We saw a man called Mr. Guyton Mackenzie. He's the leader of the Patriotic Alliance. He was explaining in an interview through the EWN channel to say, ons baizani, we are not puppets. They are part of the coalition which was formed by the ANC, IFP, Patriotic Alliance, and the Democratic Alliance. A second thing that puzzled us was we saw Mr. Julius Malema, the leader of the Economic Freedom Front. He was acknowledging Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa as the next president for the coming 5 years. In addition to his speech on the 14th of June 2024 in Parliament, he mentioned the EFF will never be disrupted disruptive again during parliamentary sessions. And then we started thinking, it means there are changes. Is it wrong to have change? No, definitely. The only difference is how you handle change. And secondly, it made us realize, based on the statements of these two leaders, there's political maturity happening within the politicians. But now, the ANC make us understand, how did you come to lose the majority of voters? Were you too comfortable maybe in your positions and you forgot about the needs, the will of the voters, the very citizens that, as observers in Parliament, we see the political parties, the members starting to push each other, becoming uncomfortable based on the question from the students. They are unable to can justify the change from majority rule to government of national unity. And then some of the students become nervous. Some start to shed a tear, and one of them, with a quivering voice, asks these politicians, "It looks like you are paralyzed with fear. What is happening?" And one of the opposition parties decides to respond. "Our party, we decided not to be part of the coalition government." Why? Because the Democratic Alliance is involved. And secondly, we decided we're going to boycott some of the parliamentary sessions. "Wait a minute," says one of the students. "Do you want to tell us that in the year 2024, some of you are still being intimidated to be in the same room with the white people? What is wrong with you? You are more educated than us. You are more experienced than us. What more did you expect us, as the high school students, could have done to prepare you for such events?" Maybe we need to remind you how it was on that day, June 16, 1976. Our venue was the dusty streets of Soweto. Our agenda, we wrote it down. We thought we were going to march to the union buildings, but the Nationalist Party blocked us. They sent some of their employees with live ammunition to block us. Did we back down? Please continue to listen to can understand what kept us going despite all the risks that we were facing. Did we have swords? Definitely not. We did not have money. We were students. And we had not anticipated the live ammunition aimed at us. So what did we do? Along our route, our venue, we started picking up rocks, stones, to throw them at the employees of the Nationalist Party. That was difficult, but we said, forward we go. But we needed shields. We realized each and every household on the route of our venue had a dustbin made of enamel. We took those dustbin lids and used them as our shields. And takes over and says, from 1994 to date, with us, our venue is the comfortable rooms, halls within the parliamentary buildings. They are air-conditioned with proper chairs. Our agenda, we are privileged. It's in writing. We are able to distribute it to all members of Parliament without fear. We are all obliged to sit, discuss, listen to each other. For our swords, we don't need dustbin lids because there's no ammunition directed at us. So we depend on the vast amount of political experience that we have as a team. Secondly, our communication skills and our debating skills come in handy for such meetings. This includes the level of different educational qualifications that we have. Some have studied political science, some are engineers of different categories, lawyers, doctors, whatever you can think of, teachers, nurses are all there. It means our swords are enough, if they are used properly, to can create means to meet the expectations of the residents, of the citizens, including other functions that we have. For a shield, it's very easy. Since 1994, policies have been created, the Constitution. That's our starting point. And then we've got this rule book that we all get to have during meetings. But we are embarrassed to tell you, sometimes that rule book is being misused. You find some of the politicians out of the blue deviating from the agenda of the day. You hear a person saying, point of order, it is my democratic right. And one will say, point of order, impeachment. And then that defeats the purpose for that session because that point is not part of the agenda. Some start making jokes, playful or hurling insults to colleagues. Those opposition parties who've decided to say they will boycott some of these meetings. Have you ever thought of how it was for Mr. Mandela and his political colleagues when they had to engage in meetings with the Nationalist Party and all the white parties of that era? Do you think it was easy for them? What if they had boycotted some of the meetings? Would you have enjoyed the excitement, the success that you experienced the year 1994? Why did you become educated then if you are not going to use the tools that you all equally share during your parliamentary sessions? What did you expect us as high school students to have done more in preparation for you, the future generation? Do you know what kept us going as students? we understood to say, it's normal of us to feel fearful, but success goes hand in hand with fear. 2, we wanted to make sure to say the future generation, our future nieces and nephews, our parents' grandchildren, that we didn't have the opportunity to meet some of us, do not suffer from the painful rules or whatever that was being implemented by the Nationalist Party. We knew it is possible to can conquer, but not all of us are going to be there to reap the benefits of what was started. As a class of 76, we'd like to urge you, members of Parliament, change is healthy. To be members of opposition is healthy, on condition you are not misusing the opportunity to bring back reverse apartheid, to rehabilitate tribalism. What about your egos? The focus on the needs of the citizens. Do you still remember that? Please consider the first year of this next 5 years as the formative year to regroup yourselves as a team. Don't lose focus. We repeat that again. Don't underestimate those citizens because you are in those positions due to their votes. They have already started. They are having pen and paper doing your evaluation. Remember, as different political parties, during your campaign before the 2024 election day, you promise them the best. For example, job creation, the ability of parents to can meet the educational fees, the educational needs of their children and grandchildren. When they have to go and vote for you, that cross in 2029 election day is going to depend on their assessment. And their assessment starts from home and their neighborhoods. They know of the unemployed colleagues, neighbors, children. If they don't see an improvement, can you guarantee to say after the 2029 election, you'll still be a member of Parliament? Ignore these citizens at your own risk. Mr. Chairman, through your permission, can we adjourn this meeting? And we plead with you, kindly invite us next time you celebrate another Youth Day, whichever year. We would really love to understand the progress of this government of national unity. Thank you. Myself, Peggy Mashamba, and the community of observers, thank you for having attended this imaginary meeting. It's time to go home, but firstly, can each and every one of you post the minutes of this agenda, of this meeting, because we each and everyone understood it in our own subjective way, and we are interpreting it differently. Let us share through the comment section, and there is a notification bell. Please click on it so that you can get notified of the next meeting date. Thank you very much.